It is very early in the morning, but I'm up and I'm going to eat something before I go to sleep. Sometimes I have these weird hours, but it's all good. I want to talk to you guys about what Caleb Plant said. And it's strange because this is the same point I made concerning the greatest boxer of this era and the best ever, Floyd Mayweather. Caleb Plant said something that's very true. You can be as marketable as you could ever be. And I think of Adrian Broner as an example. You can be very marketable and you can have a great market available to you. But if you don't back that up in the ring, it don't mean nothing. Marketability is only as good as the product, and the product is for you to do your job in the ring. You don't do that job in the ring, it don't matter. The reason Floyd Mayweather has that cachet, that superstar cachet, has to do with a number of different factors. The first one is he became pound for pound the number one fighter in the world. Now, even though he became pound for pound the number one fighter in the world, understand he wasn't the most marketable. Okay? Point number two, he became his own boss. He became his own boss. He got the right people around him, and he became his own boss. And point number three, he then fought the cash cow of boxing, which at the time was Oscar De La Hoya, who he always wanted to face. He always wanted to face Tito Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, and any other great that had a great resume and great backing. Oscar was no longer pound for pound number one, but he was the cash cow of boxing. So Floyd beat the cash cow to become the cash cow of boxing. But then after that, if you look at the next stretch of opponents Floyd Mayweather had, his stiffest competition came in the latter end of his career. In his last 10 years of his career spanned 18 years or 20 years or something like that. In the last 10 years of his career, he faced the who's who of boxing at welterweight and super welterweight. And he never fought a substandard opponent. He only fought the best. And when he couldn't get the best, he tried to get the second best. And because his product was so strong, his message could be strong. He could say, I am the best ever. His message also could be strong in the sense of, I'm undefeated. Nobody can beat me. Because he picked out, or he faced, not necessarily picked out, because some of the fights happened and it wasn't because he picked them. It's because it just happened. He had no choice. But ultimately, in the end, he faced the very best of his era. That's the bottom line. You have to face the best to keep that cachet. You have to face the best to have the best product. So people will believe you, and you should believe in your product. You should believe in your skills and your abilities. So when you speak with conviction because you believe what you're saying. You're not selling what you're saying. You believe what you're saying. You believe you're the best. And nobody could beat you. So Caleb Plant is on the right course because he understands he needs to beat Canelo. Not just go the distance with him. Not just be competitive with him. He needs to beat him to be that big superstar. Okay? And he's right. Of course, just beating Canelo is not enough. You'll have to go on and prove yourself that you can beat your world beater. You have to continue to beat other people. Because Teofimo Lopez is another fighter that thinks that he can skip a whole bunch of steps and get to the Mayweather to the Mayweather sweepstakes, the Mayweather level. And that's not possible. You have to go through steps. So even if Caleb Plant were to beat Canelo, he beat the cash cow boxing. But while he might have inherited the cash cowism, he now has to face the very best, time and time and time again. Now I'm sure you go to Benavidez next after that. So you have to understand that the product has to stand up to scrutiny. And when people poke and they try to poke holes in the product and they try to nitpick and poke, all they can come up with is emotional outbursts and memes and stuff like that because it's airtight. Canelo is pound for pound #1 in the world and the cash cow of boxing. He has the double whammy combination right now. But why? Because he's been facing the best. Okay? So you have to understand that that is the way how boxing works. You can't be the best if you don't beat the best. And even if you are the best, you got to beat the second best to show that you still are the best. And you can beat all comers. So I just like that Caleb Plant validated what I said, because again, coming from a boxing perspective, even though I'm not anywhere near those levels, it only makes logical sense. You can't say that Floyd, he faced over the heel fighters and he ducked and dodged fighters, and that's bullshit. And Caleb Plant just spoke about the same principle that I just told you about. And usually the people making these allegations are either jealous people or fans who never threw a punch ever in a day in their life. So that's all I got to say for now. What you need. Peace.